Welcome. I truly believe that everybody is beautiful. And when you're looking at beauty, beauty is not an ultimate thing which you can define. Beauty is something that is subjective. It really depends. And I want to walk you through a journey where beauty on an individual level gets translated into beauty on a corporate level. And I think that if we're approaching business from this perspective, we can learn something about how we are perceived by customers, how people are going to recognize us, maybe how they love us, and then maybe can redefine customer relationships. So when you're looking at beauty, beauty is really in the eye of the beholder. So when you're looking at falling in love, most people don't stare at the mirror. They stare at the person that they fell in love with. So you can see it's really about the beauty that is in front of you, and you see it and you love it. It doesn't really matter what people think about you at the moment. You love that, and that's the only thing that matters. Same as when you're looking at the baby. You know, if you talk to parents and grandparents, they say, how cute. If you talk to a single who's 25 years old and is in front of a big career, they will say, it's a bit ugly. So it really depends on your perspective. And one very obvious example is when you're looking at your first place, your first own place. You know, when you're a student and you have your first own place, this was awesome, wasn't it? When you brought somebody home and you didn't realize how messy it was all about the person you brought home. When you look back now, you would never, ever, post these pictures to your profile when you're applying for a great job at a bank. Right? So the first place was beautiful from your perspective. And this is what it's all about. When you're looking at beauty and how beautiful something is, it's in the eye of the beholder. It's not always general. So what I would like to do is I want to walk you through what beauty means in a business context. So when you're looking at the business and you're looking at an identity a company or corporation or organization has, there's basically two questions you need to answer. Who you are and what you do. That seems simple, but it defines if your customers consider you beautiful and fall in love with you, or they don't. Who you are is about the way you conduct business, the way you behave, if that is completely authentic. And what you do is basically your products, your services, and all the things that are the reasons why somebody is purchasing something from you and give you money. So when you're looking at that, who you are and what you do is the identity of your organization. And if I ask you, describe what your organization is all about, I often hear things like, we are the best. So that's awesome. Compared to what? Or we are the most international company. I hear that a lot, by the way. We did research, so this is not just all my work. This is also the work of Marcus, who is here. We together did research with lots of companies, and so we asked them, what is that makes you unique and special? And often the answer is, we are most international. We are the most international player in our field of expertise. What we also hear sometimes, but not that often, is we are the most local company. So we are most local. So we are from Offenbach, and we are only operating in Offenbach. You don't hear that, interesting enough. So when you, might be a problem with Offenbach, but I'm from Frankfurt, so therefore I can make all those jokes about it. Believe me, it was a big pain to cross the river. So when you're looking at that identity of an organization, who you are and what you do, there are some aspects that you can express. And when we have been dialogues with companies, we ask them, and they give us 1,000 and thousands of reasons why are they beautiful, so what they really do and who they really are. And the problem is, you need to filter it. Otherwise, you're ending up with lots of clutter, because if I tell you that I'm the fastest runner, the fastest talker, I'm from Frankfurt, I give you 1,000 details, you will not remember anything. So you need to limit it. So what we do is we find out what are the absolute crucial things about what you do and who you are. So we need to identify that. And the easiest way to do that is asking the customer. So take an outside-in perspective. The same happens if you are going to a bar. You ask your friends, how do I look tonight? You're never going to ask yourself, how do I look tonight? Well, depending on how proud and how self-confident you are, you're going to give yourself the same answer. But if you ask somebody, they give it an outside-in perspective. And the same happens in the corporate world. So let's take an outside-in perspective. What is the value? Not what we give, the value others see in us. This is a level of beauty. It's a level of identity. There is a value that our customers see in us. And there needs to be some level of sustainability. So I come back to the example with I'm the most international company. Okay? So if you go to your bakery around the corner and you want to sell them something, and you go in there and say, I'm the most international company who provides that service, they're going to say, that's awesome. So I bake bread. And I deliver the bread within a circle of about 10 miles. I don't care if you are even from a different city. So this doesn't really provide any value. But if you say I'm the most local company, I know what the flavor of the town is. I know what the current events are in the local community. That adds value. So you see something that the companies believed in our research to be international is a value. And don't get me wrong, to be international can be a value. But when you look at it from the perspective of the customer, that is not always the case. And the second important point is sustainability. What I mean with that is not so much the environment. I think we all should be conscious about the environment and have our own sense of sustainability from that perspective. But can you have this thing that is unique about you, deliver that constantly and in the same quality? So if you say, I'm the most international company, to stick with the example, and all your competitors becoming international, you're screwed, because they're all international now, so you are one of the most international companies. When you're looking at accounting, the big four companies, they do all of the accounting, they're all international companies. But when you say I'm the most local company, there is nobody who can come from the UK or Spain or somewhere else, move in your neighborhood and say, I'm local too. I don't speak German, but I'm local. So you see, it's value from a perspective of a customer, and it's sustainability. So when you're looking at the moment you entering a bar, and you have identified with the help of your friends that you're charming. Maybe you figured it out by yourself, but it is always good to get proof by your friends telling you, hey, you're a pretty charming guy. So you going into a bar, how can you make it happen that you benefit from that charm? And this is where companies struggle a lot. So the thing is, are you able to pitch, to express what the things are that make you unique? So you can test that very easy. You go to a bar, and you see somebody, you walk over, you let your charm work, and if you get a telephone number, then you can absolutely say, I was able to pitch my charm. I was able to convince somebody that there is something promising about me. When you're looking at companies, interesting enough, they don't know really what to pitch. They have somebody in sales pitching something completely different than the CEO. You find this very often. There's this super visionary CEO, and you absolutely believe in that, and then the sales guy comes along and tells you a completely different story. So when you look back, when we just talked about value and sustainability, when you have identified what makes you unique and special, that's the first important step. You have cut it down, in that case, to 3 key differentiators. There are 3 things you are absolutely beautiful about. So far, so good. If you never go to a bar, you're pretty much also screwed, because most likely the girls don't come to your first place. So you need to do something about it. So pitching it is just an expression of getting out there and tell the story about how beautiful you are. In a bar, it's very simple. You walk over, you try to get a number. If you get a number, excellent. As a company, you need to convince somebody to give you money. So there's a clear indicator. But what we also need to be aware of, if you are fantastic in pitching, that's the first step. Like when you meet somebody in a bar, you have the first date, the second date, the third date. It's going to be tricky. What is the wardrobe for the third date? You know, you have your best stuff done in the first date. If you enter into a relationship, and when you went there with your charm and you convinced that person that it is worth meeting with you, you gave that person a promise. And if you can deliver on that promise, you're going to end up in a relationship. Isn't that beautiful? So now look at the company. If you are able to pitch to the local bakery that you are the most local company, awesome, you get the business. So now if you are available all the time when problems arise, then you are actually entering into a relationship. And what happens is you gave the promise, you convinced your audience, your customers, that you are actually something special, and you deliver on that promise. And this is what, when we're looking at the business sense, comprises beauty. The ability to pitch who you really are and what you do, and the ability to deliver on the promise that you gave, who you are and what you do. And in a business sense, you could argue this is beauty. This is beautiful. And therefore, I believe everybody is beautiful. I definitely believe you are beautiful. So let's look at the key differentiator from a perspective. It's getting a little academic now, but there are two sorts, or a couple of sorts of beauty when it comes to the business context. So there are basically those who are fantastic in pitching who they are and what they do. You could argue this is more like the North American perspective. They promise you everything, and you love it. You buy it, don't you? I mean, don't we believe all that the iPhone makes us look much better? Can we not actually do better calls now? And look at how beautiful our emails look now. Isn't that awesome? When you're looking at the other angle, you find people who are fantastic in deliverables. So they are able, who they are and what they do, and deliver that. You could argue that the German automotive industry was like that for a long time. So what they do is, they give you the best car ever. And they give you a list of 250 features which you can make the best car ever even better. Have you ever tried that in North America? And you tell them, if you take this fantastic red car with the leather seats and the warm steering wheel and the nice big wheels, but it takes 3 months for me to deliver, you're not going to sell a single car. Because there are differences in different regions. So when you're looking at this here, there are two sorts of hidden beauty. Those who are able to pitch and never deliver. When you go back to the bar example, you could argue this is the one-night stand analogy. When you're looking at the ability to deliver, but you never pitch, this is the lonely person that is so beautiful inside, and maybe even outside, but never meets the soul mate of their life. So you are beautiful. We just need to manage to get you to the upper right-hand corner. And we all learned over the many, many years we are in business, the upper right-hand corner is where we need to be. So just make sure when you go to a next party that you are in the upper right-hand corner. You are absolutely aware who you are and what you do. You are able to pitch who you are and what you do. And you are absolutely capable on deliver on the promise who you are and what you do. And when you're looking on the business perspective, so when you're looking at an organization and you are in front of this question, what should I do? Should I start my own business? Should I do something special in my organization? Go first in there and check, who are we? What do we do? Is it value in the eyes of the organizations out there that I want to impress? And can I actually deliver on the promises I give? And if I have this identified, then you go in there and you work on your pitch and you work on your delivery. And if that all works, then your beauty can shine and you're going to have a fun life as an individual, you're going to have a great life as a company, and most important, and this is not, I don't just believe, I don't just think it is, I absolutely believe that everybody here and every company can be beautiful. Thank you.